Hello and welcome to the Tarka Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're playing the game Meet Your Maker and I'm checking on the board today. So it's been about another 13 hours. I put up a new base last night called, its base title is Coalfield. And I might just leave it at that. I mean, that's a cool name. I might not have to give it a unique name. That one's easy to remember. I put this one up last night and I made it right before logging off for the evening, and it only got one raid attempt, and it was a duo pair. It seems like interesting. Every time I put a new base up, it seems like the first attempt to them is duo pairs. So it's a good way for me to balance if I've done it correctly, because a duo pair, as you probably are aware, they're easier if they're working together. It's easier for them to do the content because they can res each other, they can back each other up, they can do what they need to do to get through it. So they slog through this thing, and the first attempt that they made with it was 10 and 21 combined deaths, so 10 and 11. And they did it in under 8 minutes. And then I watched the replay just a few minutes ago, and I saw some holes that I had created, some safe spots that I really didn't want. This map, I designed it so that it was adrenaline from beginning to end. I want it to be like there's no place to be safe. You either got to keep moving or you're going to die. And it's almost like I'm trying to promote speedrunning. But by doing that, I have speedrunner holes on the back end. So you're forced to kind of keep moving, and if you keep that in your head, speed run, and then go into the anti-speed run, that's where I got these guys a lot last night, was they understood that they couldn't stay in one spot, so they kept on trying to speed run the back end, and that's where I just kept on killing them. And that was what I was trying to do, is put them into that mindset that you're going to need to keep moving and speed run this thing, and it did beautifully. And I did fix the little gaping holes that I had. There was a couple places where they just stood there and they were fine, good to go. They waited for everything to recharge. These two guys went in double shield. They were using swords. Both of them were using swords. Both of them were using shields. Plus, both of them were using the drop shields that you drop on the ground. So they had all that protection in there, and they still had to find little hidey holes to be out of the way so that they wouldn't get killed. So it performed pretty well. I'm hoping that it performs a little better now that I've massaged it a little bit. Last night, the litter box, Jesus was at, actually this was today, just a few hours ago. The 1 p.m. or almost 1 p.m., it's now almost 4 p.m., and this is the last raid that I got. So the last raid in the last couple hours. That person went in there for a whole whopping 12 seconds and gave up. These doughheads did the Alt F4 nonsense or the disconnect nonsense. I mean, these guys, we should be able to report these fools. I mean, if I'm not getting credit for their effort, they should be reported for doing this nonsense. They were in there almost 5 minutes. It's the king of the hill, and they gave up. Boo-hoo, that it's too tough, and you don't want to give rewards to the designer. Consider the fact that, look at this guy, Camel Hot, he only died 4 times and he did it. And these ass clowns think it's okay to Alt F4 out, and they're a duo pair. So they already got an advantage for being a duo pair, and they tapped out. This duo pair did it just oh no, they didn't get the end, but they didn't tap out. They 7 deaths, 9 deaths, they gave up, pulled the ripcord, 20 minutes at end. So respect for them, but this guy did it in 4 deaths by himself with no problem. And then I've got a lot of tap outs. King of the Hell seems to get a lot of tap outs. This is another Alt F4 kind of thing, or task man, whatever you want to call it. They're closing the game in the background so that it doesn't keep track of the kills, so that I get basically hosed. And this person here did that. And this is in Happy Town. And Happy Town's doable. I mean, Happy Town, we've seen all sorts of people do Happy Town. So a lot of ripcords, lots of ripcords. And I've even dumbed down these bases. I mean, I've been going in there and removing traps and making these bases easier so that people would have a better go at it, especially towards the end where they're prestiging into Master. I think one of these, I think King of the Hill actually might be a Master. We'll look at the board here in a second. Okay, so Happy Town. Oh, actually, this was Litter Box. This is the Litter Box. I'm sorry, I called this one Happy Town up here, but it's Litter Box. This is Happy Town right here. This person in Happy Town died 0 times, and then got the Genmat in about 20 minutes. So successful. This one's Happy Town, and they did it 3 deaths. Happy Town, only 1 death. They did it. So I have lowered the difficulty rating of Happy Town quite a bit because I was getting a lot of tap outs. So what do we got here? We've got Outpost Cheese 1111, and they got it. And then we've got the Litter Box again. So the Litter Box here took on 17 deaths, 28 deaths, and they were not able to get it. Happy Town, 0 deaths, and then they got it. And this one was the normal base that I was running. This one here, base normal. The guy gave up after 2 deaths. King of the Hill. Happy Town, 5 deaths, and they pulled the ripcord. But yet we've got people up there doing it in 0 deaths. Here's another Happy Town. Combined 6 deaths. They got it. Another Litter Box tap out. Another Litter Box tap out. Another Litter Box tap out. Tap out. Oh, wow. Look at this guy. These guys all tapped out, right, of Litter Box. And Litter Box, this guy, Protein, did it in 2 deaths, and he was able to get it in under 17 minutes. So it's doable. It's just that, you know, I can't cater to everyone who just wants simple mode. I've been trying to lower the death ratio a little bit. This person, Happy Town, 2 deaths, pulled the ripcord. Happy Town again. You know this guy's an all F4, this Legion of Wesker. He's a tap outer. He's a weenie. He was in there almost 17 minutes, and he tapped out on me. And that was it. That's the Happy Town. See, I just don't. That just seems crazy to me. Just leave the game and reward the builder. All right, we got a Litter Box here of 65 deaths. This was at 7 p.m. last night. Person was in there almost 2 hours. 2 hours, 65 deaths, and they gave up. All right. So here it's telling me it put my name on the base. See here, it says Tarkus, but it's actually Wound Socket. It's what I call Happy Town. But the game, for some reason, did that. That person, 0 deaths, Happy Town, 0 deaths, and got it. They were there 15 minutes. So you get the thing is that my bases are performing very well. I mean, there's people doing it easily with 0 deaths or 1 or 2 deaths, and there's people that are tapping out, and then we've got the a-holes that are doing the all F4 nonsense. I wish I had more on Coalfield to show you. And let's just go to the other board. All right. So this is Coalfield here. And right now it's saying I got a kill ratio of 21. Well, that's only because those duo pair went in there. They're the only people that ever went in there. And it's 1 attempt, killed combined 21 times. They gave me 2 funds in 1 brutal. And that's okay. I mean, that works out pretty well. And then this one's going to be this one is going to be at the back end of the master. This is the Litter Box we were talking about. This is the map I call Litter Box. And that's still at a 12. And I've been trying to bring that one down. So that's a 12. And then you've got King of the Hill, which is at an 11.5. And I went down 0.2. And then we've got Outpost Cheese, which has been performing very well. That's at an 11.9. And then we've got Happy Town, which I dumbed down the best I could to make it so that Well, I say I dumbed it down. I brought it down so it was closer to a 9 kill ratio. That's what I'm trying to be at. And I'm having I think that's where the sweet spot is, that people will continue the content without tapping out on you or doing the alt F4 nonsense. If you can keep the kill ratio down around a 9, and you got to be around a 9 to keep these things running. I mean, the reality is, that's the reality. And this one's going to be, Happy Town is going to be almost done. It's going to be mastered pretty soon. I'll be doing a masters video on it. Those are the 5 that I have running now. Now, base normal, this is base normal here. And actually, I kicked it to dangerous before. Actually, I kicked it to dangerous, but I haven't reactivated it yet. It was in the normal category, and I thought I was going to get more raiders than I did, being in normal. But I only got 19 raiders in that base, and the kill ratio was only 1.2. And at that kill ratio, I was not going to be able to afford to run it on its own. I would have needed more like 30 attempts at that kill ratio to pay for this thing. And I definitely, I mean, it's an easy base, but I did make it a little bit more dangerous by putting it in the dangerous category. I added some traps. It's really hard to keep it in normal and have the kill. You're not obviously not going to have a kill ratio 9 in normal, but I was hoping to have it a kill ratio 5 at least, and having high volumes of people. And it would pay for itself, or the other outposts would help pay for it. It's just that right now I got it in the back burner. I'm really thinking about if I want to keep it in dangerous or I want to bring it back down to normal. I'll have to think about it, but it's on the back burner now. It depleted itself, and for its first run, these are the normal. For its first level, for its first prestige level, these are the numbers. And then I've got the old workshop that has always been a plague. I mean, this one's at 9, and this base has changed so many times trying to squeak out, at least a 5 kill ratio, and it's been really difficult. I mean, I've got a lot of accolades, people saying it's fun and whatnot, but it's really hard to use this base or really do any cool design because of the way the bedrock is on that building. All right, that's it, folks. That's me checking after about 13 hours. I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoy your day, and thank you for joining me. And this has been the Tarkus Zone.